Hi, how's everyone doing today? Happy Friday. This is Coach Kathy Stone. And I just had this, I was thinking this morning and I just had this idea and I just wanted to share it. So I just thought I would get on here and tell you all what I was thinking about. And this morning I was thinking, I got this video from Bo Eason last night and it just reminded me about recovery and commitment. And recovery is, it's kind of like a sport. It's like a sport. And when you try to learn a sport, you don't know how to play at the beginning, but you get coaches and you get trainers and you eventually become better at the sport. And some people take the sport and they become like Olympic athletes, or they become like Serena Williams. They become professional. And that's the same way it is in recovery. You have to have that, you have to think like a professional athlete, and you have to be committed to your recovery. You have to fight for your recovery. You have to dig deep. You have to have grit. You cannot quit, because addiction is such a powerful disease and you have to fight. And I used to have this picture of Serena in my office because, like I said, I've been in recovery for over 33 years now, and there have been times in my recovery where I've had to dig deep. I've had to fight, and I just couldn't give up, because there are ups and downs. But nothing ever is as bad as when I was using. So I never went back. That was never an option for me, to go back to drinking and using any kind of drugs. But I just kept fighting. But unlike Olympic athletes, there's very few Olympic athletes that can win gold medals. But in recovery, every one of us can find the gold within. And that is just how I feel like every single one of you can find it. We all have it inside of ourselves. We just have to work at it, and we just can't quit. The second point I wanted to make is that addiction is a medical problem. I really feel like it's a medical problem. I feel like it's like a cancer of the spirit. The cancer of the spirit, the mind, and the physical spirit. And it eats away at your values, your heart, your brain, and eventually like all the parts of your body. And it's just devastating. If you've ever watched anyone die of addiction, it is just devastating. I've seen way too many people die. And it is just so heart-wrenching. And that's why I'm so passionate about, helping and sharing my story, because it's just so hard to watch. I can't do it anymore. And I have so much compassion for people that have struggled with addiction and battled addiction, because I've had so many addictions of my own that I've battled over the years. So I know what it's like, and I know how hard it is. But I do know that you can overcome it. And it just, like I said, it takes that fight, it takes that commitment and that dedication, and getting your priorities straight and getting the right help, and just really, investing in yourself. When I was 32 years old, I had been in recovery for 9 years, and I was going through some really hard time. I had just ended this relationship, and it was really dysfunctional, really abusive. And I was really at a down point in my recovery, and came back to Baltimore, and because this guy lived in Alexandria, Virginia. I came back to Baltimore, and I needed to get a new therapist, because I felt like this therapist I had, I wasn't getting anywhere with her. So I found this therapist in Baltimore, and she was like, didn't take insurance, and she was really expensive. And I was a flight attendant. I had no money, like no money. I lived in a 300 square foot apartment in Federal Hill, 1328 South Charles Street, no air conditioning. It was like this little efficiency apartment with a kitchen. The kitchen was literally 5 feet long, had its refrigerator. I need Roger Love. Had a refrigerator, a pint-sized refrigerator, 2 burners, and a sink. And it was very small. But I paid $1,000 for a car, Honda Accord, so I could go see this therapist who was like really, really good, and she challenged me. She challenged my thinking, and she really, really helped me. And I was able to, she put me in this group with a lot of successful people, and I was able to see that, wow, maybe I can be successful too. There are these people that are being successful. And so it really helped me become, think about changing my career and doing something different. And if you're watching me, tell me where you're watching from and say hello. Say hello. But so I was around all these successful people. So it gave me it gave me inspiration to do something myself. And I was able to start my business and, triple my income, within a year or two. And it was just like, oh my gosh, so everything I invested in myself, I got back. And that's just something I've always done for the last 30 years. I've always invested in myself. Now, the first 9 years, I had help, but I didn't have like the best coaches and the best therapists. So it's like anything else. If you want to be the best, if you want to master whatever it is you want to master, whether it's a musical instrument or it's a sport, you have to have the best coaches. So once I got this therapist, and she kind of hooked me up with other people that were able to help me, and I just kept investing in myself. And I realized that I have, thousands and thousands of hours of support group meetings, treatment, therapy, and personal development. I think it's like somewhere around over 15,000 hours. And that is a lot. But that's probably what an athlete would invest in themselves to become, professional. My coach, Bo, gave us this book, The Little Book of Talent. And it talks about professional athletes and, the tennis players like in Russia and how they invest in them. And it talks about Michael Phelps in here and just the commitment they made. And that's what you have to do if you want to find that gold within yourself. But the cool thing about finding that gold within yourself is that it's like the freedom, the happiness, the peace, the self-esteem. It's like something that you can't really buy. It's something that comes from within. And that is like that to me is like worth more than gold. Being able to find that within yourself, that strength within yourself. So I hope this all makes sense to you, but it's all about, I just had this epiphany today, and then just keep investing in yourself. I was, so this past year, I just had the past 2 years actually, I had these goals. Like I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to, help people with addiction. I really want to motivate people. I want to challenge people to take their recovery to the next level or start recovery and, live their best life and find that within themselves. And I knew I was going to need a lot of help. And we went to a seminar like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago with Bo Eason, and I talked to my husband, we had a car fund for my husband, and I talked my husband I said, I need to work with Bo. He is going to change my life. And it was so expensive, but my husband believed in me, and he gave me the money to do it. He gave me his blessing. He's like, you can do it. And then in March, I wanted to do more work with Brendan. And I was like, Ed, and we still had a little bit of his car fund. And I said, Ed, I want to work with Brendan. Brendan is going to help me have the breakthrough I need. And he believed in me again, and he gave me the money. And now I'm implementing, and I told him, I said, honey, I am getting you a car this year. But he sacrificed his car so I could work on myself. So it's all about priorities. And I see so many people, and we buy big houses, we buy nice cars, but really, you guys, this is our house. This is our mansion right here. And if it needs renovations, you have to invest in yourself. And I needed a ton of renovations because I was a shell when I started 30 years ago. So I needed a ton of renovations, and I just kept investing in myself. And this year, hey Lisa, thanks for joining me. I invested so much in myself. Like this past year, I had like Allie Davidson, thank you. I'm going to thank all my coaches. I wanted to thank all my coaches too. Allie Davidson, my transformational coach, for all the help she gave me. Sherry Elliker was my writing, speaking coach, still helping me. Awesome, awesome lady here in Baltimore. Incredible, incredible lady. Bo Eason, my Kevin Ward, who's really inspired me so much. I ran into him in California, and he just gave me so much. Just had lunch with him. He's such a cool guy. Helped me, give me the courage to do more videos, because he does videos like all the time. He's a real estate coach, fabulous real estate coach. My Beth Trainer, who's been one of my therapists for 25 years. She's known me when I was like really, really wacko. She knew me when I was really wacko 25 years ago when I needed so much help. She's helped me so much this year. My boss beauties, Lisa Karen and Tosh Blum, who have helped me with social media because I need so much help, and I want to thank them. And Brendan, of course, So I just had so much help. And then, of course, my husband, he supports me so much and gives me so much. And so I wanted to just thank everyone, but I just want to let you know I wanted to let you know what I was thinking about this morning. So tomorrow I wanted to talk about how to pick a great coach, and it's in that book, and I wanted to give you some tips about how to pick a great coach. And then next week I'm going to talk about withdrawal, and I'm going to talk about stigma. So, and I'm going to talk about some other things. I'll just pop on when I have the courage. So thanks for watching. I got to hop on a call at 11. So you guys have a great day and a great weekend. Talk to you soon.